Hello, this is Maria Zhelnina, and today at Art School of SFB we will be drawing folds. For this video I will be using an imitation of a dark and white charcoal on a toned paper. As always, we start with positioning our object on paper, finding top, bottom, left and right marks, and dividing the resulting silhouette into smaller parts, one division at a time, and then the resulting parts into even smaller parts, and so on. If you follow this simple method, everything will be proportional in your drawing. If you're using a wine charcoal, pay attention that you can put it on the side and cover a large area very quickly with an interesting texture. And for the thin lines, you can use the very tip of it. Where it's pinched and folds radiate from that spot, it's called point of tension. Fabric will stretch between these 2 points. The harder, more rigid fabric is, the more angular these lines will be. Make sure to follow each of the folds through, focusing on the axis, angles. Next step, I need to establish the hierarchy of darks in my work. Often all shadows look equally dark, and you have to make an executive decision, deciding which one will be your darkest one, which one will be next, and so on. After you're done with your dark charcoal shading, don't forget to spray your work to prevent dark charcoal blending with white charcoal. After your fixative dries out, establish the hierarchy for whites and go ahead start shading, especially focusing on the creases of the folds and the corners. Try to emphasize them a bit. Think of your folds as of slightly distorted cylinders, pinched here and there. My folds are really glossy. They literally reflect the 2 lamps that I have in the studio, and instead of 1 highlight, I will have 2 in many cases. And it's time to check my work for inconsistencies and pull it all together. This is the final stage. I'm using both white and dark charcoal here. As always, where you put your accents and how well you explain your 3-dimensional shape will decide if your work is good or great. Do not rush through your final stage. I wish you good luck. At the end of this video, I'm also adding a few tips about drawing folds on the human body. So where do we find these folds? Where material is not stretched over human body, but is sitting loose or twisted around legs or arms. Thin fabric creates many thin folds, while thick fabric a few thick ones. Soft fabric creates soft folds, while rigid fabric creates very well defined and pointy ones. Here is another comparison of dresses made of thin and thick fabric. You have probably noticed that folds look like diamonds when they're stretched around something, and like triangles when they hang freely. When you draw patterns, imagine that they are wrapped around the folds and get foreshortened. If you look at the fold from the side, the pattern looks more flattened. I hope this video will help you draw folds better. Good luck!